Welcome back to another new year with Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. As you well know, I'm Sarah Stephenson, your main host, and my co-host Mike is here with me again as per usual.
For another year. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, and a lot of it has happened this that I hope to get out to you guys very soon.
Really? Wow.
Well, for starters, we just released my film project, Attack of the Cat People, that you can see on Vimeo on demand.
Yeah, Vimeo on demand. Is it on Amazon as well?
I'm working on it.
You're working on it, okay. At the moment, Vimeo, what it's
So,
called.
guys, if you guys have the time, feel free to check it out and give me your thoughts on it.
Is it for renting or purchasing?
For renting and buying.
Okay, that's cool. So, if you try it
before
you buy it. That way you do it both. We make more money. No.
Don't go there, Mike.
Okay. Whatever.
Another thing I'm doing this year, I'm doing a new web series that I'm going to be setting up, organizing for this year called Prom Queen. It's an interesting web series that you might take an interest in. And if you guys are actors out there and wish to apply, feel free to contact me through Prom Queen or Black Cat Film Productions.
As long as you live in Brisbane area.
Yeah, exactly so. Because this is in Brisbane and
Australia,
and I don't want any. Unless you guys can do a voiceover, thing for some of our scenes, that will be okay too. But I will have to pay you in Australian, funds.
Yeah. But in the main, we want locals.
Yes, more locals. Yep. So anyway, moving on. Another film project we got on the horizon is the Lockdown sequel documentary called Lockdown Aftermath, which deals with filmmakers and actors whom gone through the COVID and are now trying to re-establish themselves and try to break away from
a reboot, so to speak.
Yeah, try to get themselves out there again, even though it has been a difficult 2 years for all of us. Anyway, back to what subject at hand.
Now, what are we doing tonight again?
We are going to review the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City that was released last year.
Yeah, end of November, I think, mainly.
Yeah.
Last week of November, first week of December, around there somewhere.
And as you guys well know, I won 2 ticket passes to it for a private viewing last year.
Yeah, before actually it was released next day for the public.
So we were the lucky 2 among other
about 30 or 40 people in the theatre.
30 or 40 people to get the chance to view it the first time around. So that was an extraordinary night for both of us, and I hope that we get another.
I enjoyed it. Anything for free, really. Sorry.
And I hope we get to do another special private screening one of these days. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Sounds like a plan.
Anyway, back to what you were saying, Mike.
I don't know.
Yes.
You keep talking too much, I'll lose train of thought.
Yes. Anyway, this one is different from the Resident Evil sequels or the ones that had Mila
Jovovich. Ooh, she's good.
Just in case you guys are wondering, where's Alice in this one?
Alice wasn't in the original game. Yeah. She was brought into that Resident Evil film
last year I told you guys that Alice doesn't exist inside the games.
Yeah, and this movie is actually based more on the games.
Yeah, the games characters and the locations.
Yeah. So whether it's a good move or a bad move, I do like Mila Jovovich. She does make a good action hero type person.
Yeah,
yeah
and I love that in this one it follows the game story to a T.
For the first 2 Resident Evil games?
Yeah, 2 Resident Evil games that deal with both the Raccoon Mansion, the Spencer Mansion, and the one where it deals with the Raccoon City where the outbreak takes place.
And actually the movies really centered around the mansion and the police station in this movie, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we won't get into a post-mortem before we tell the story. I'll just get into the nuts and bolts. Yeah. Produced by James Harris, Robert Kolzer and Hartley Gorenstein. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Now, here's another one. It's directed and written by, it's Johannes Roberts. I don't mind the directing of this. It's quite good.
Yeah.
To me, it works. Now, whether it's a good movie or a bad movie is yet to be seen. It's early days.
And I was telling Mike earlier today that this originally the James Wan, the guy who was who did the Saw franchise, or not the Saw franchise, just the first couple. He was going to be assigned to do this movie, but he and another writer had to move on to other parts unknown.
Well, they brought
not really parts unknown.
I think they brought Johannes on there to do some script writing or doing something, and they turned around. Well, actually, he wrote it, and he took on the directorship, and James Wan moved on to doing. Was it Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, the new Mortal Kombat that was also released this last year too.
But James Wan's contribution to this project wasn't set in concrete when it was first mentioned, I don't think.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad that he didn't do this one, really, to be honest.
No, actually, I'm waiting to see the Mortal Kombat movie. Is that out?
It's already out.
We must have a look at that. So I do like James Wan and what he's been doing.
Well,
so
I hope that this year we might take the time out to review not only that one, but the other two Mortal Kombat's movies that came before this one.
Yeah, we might do that. We might do the new one, and then we do the old ones after that, and can do a bit of a comparison or something.
Post-mortem, whatever they call it.
Well, post-mortem, sounds very good when you're doing
the one
horror
thing I
and
like,
sci-fi.
Anyway, moving back on, the reason I like this Resident Evil, the one thing I like about it is that I like it that they kind of detailed all the sets to the similarity
to look like the computer game.
To look like the computer game, down to a T, down to the
T-virus.
Yeah, exactly. But I did enjoy watching it, even though it's pretty much. I already know the story of the game, so it's technically like.
She does.
Yeah, so this is no different from that movie too much. Yeah. Anyway, going on.
Now the budget and box office, that's a bit too early to really gauge too much from, because it's still in the theatres. So and then it's going to go on to the home media circuits as well. But anyway, it was made for about 25 million. So far, as at the beginning of January, it's grossed about 32 mil worldwide. And that to me, that's just a little over a month. I think it's heading in the right direction. If it loses a bit of steam over next month or two, I don't know. But I'm sure once it's finished off there and hits the home media, because I was looking on Amazon and eBay, Amazon's out of stock.
Really?
Which means obviously people must be buying it. They've seen the movie, they like it, they're buying it. So I think what they don't make in the theatres is going to get picked up by the home media.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now, having said that,
let's start mentioning who stars in it.
Okay. I wish I had some normal names. Okay. Kaya Scodelario. I hope I got that wrong, Kaya. She plays Claire Redfield. She's main female lead. She's Chris's estranged sister, who's investigating the Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, she got a brother called Chris. Robbie Amell, he plays, obviously, the brother, and he's a member of STAR's Alpha Team, who are dispatched to investigate the Spencer Mansion. Ooh. Now you got Hannah John-Kamen as Jewel Valentine. She's a prominent figure in the computer game, I remember, if my memory serves me correctly. I haven't played the game. She's a member of STARS as well. And actually, STARS actually stands for Special Tactics and Rescue Service, Alpha Team, whatever. Whoopee. Now, Tom Hopper, he plays Albert Wesker. He's another member of the team. So they got a nice little team.
Unlike his
team building.
Unlike his counterpart in the game and in the old franchise, Albert in this one, he's not the complete lead antagonist in this one. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling these guys that don't be discouraged.
So I haven't seen the game, so I don't know about it.
Well, if you watch,
so it's a bit of a role change from the game to the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah.
I just meant that you've seen the original. The other Resident Evil movies.
Yeah. But you're
and
talking about the game.
No, I'm referring to both the game and the original. Balkovich, whatever, Resident Evil. They made out that Wesker, it was a baddie guy in that one,
okay.
but in this one, they changed that
They
role.
do a few role reversals and change characters around a bit.
Anyway, go back to this.
Avon Jogia, I think it's Jogia, maybe. He plays Leon Kennedy. He's a rookie police guy.
Yeah.
He's cute. He's fun at the beginning, but he develops during the movie into Last Man Standing almost, which is not bad.
Yeah. Another thing about his role it's different from his counter role in the game, where he's more heroic and a good character to have on your team. But in this one, he's like the rookie officer who doesn't belong to anyone.
He's a klutz. Well, he was a klutz in the beginning.
Yes,
but as the movie it's only one night, isn't it? Really, he really comes up and puts up. Yeah, he holds his own against the dead guys. Now, I'll mention this guy, Donald Logie, I think it is. He plays Brian Irons. He's the corrupt police chief. So he knows. I think he knows what's going on in the town.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to contain stuff, and he tries to get out, and he can't get out, and he gets
caught in the middle.
He gets caught in the middle. I won't say what happens to him. It'll come out in the storytelling later on. Neil McDonough, he plays William Birkin, and he's one of the leaders from the Umbrella Corporation experimental team, and he does play an important role in this, doesn't he?
Yeah, I would say so.
I won't say anything more because I'll give the story away. Do you want to take it away, Grizzly?
Yes, might as well.
Okay.
So as I often say, let's let the good times roll with this one. So anyway, the story begins with Claire Redfield living in an orphanage with her brother at Raccoon City.
Yeah, it's in the 1980s. Sometime
around the time when Golden Girls was popular, and which reminds me, it was on the television screen, which was funny.
The old Easter egg. Yeah.
Anyway, she's living in the orphanage. It's nice, or not so nice, really, because there's some real creepy stuff happening. Like a weird-looking mutated creature is hopping around the orphanage at night.
She has a name too. Her name is Lisa Trevor.
Yeah.
She was one of the. Well, we'll let a little bit out. They do some experiments on the kiddies, and she's one of the early experiments.
Yeah, anyway, she wakes Claire, and Claire follows her into a small little tent in the playroom, I think. And she talks to Lucy, and she tells her where she's come from, and she then writes in a scribbly note saying below. And then
downstairs.
Yeah. Of course, before Claire could explore further, the doctors and the nurse from the orphanage find her there and ask her what she's doing there. Of course.
And Lisa has scarpered. Be gone.
Yeah. Chris finds her and tells them that she sleepwalks, which I think was just a lie.
A good cover. Lie.
Yeah. Anyway, we then drift back to the present, where Claire is coming back to Raccoon City. Just so you guys know, I'll give you the full flashback. She ran away from the orphanage when she was a tiny, little kid,
young girl.
On the same night that
occurred.
occurred.
Yeah, actually, it was because we found later on they'll try and do some experiments on her as well, and she escaped.
Yeah. And
didn't come back.
Yeah.
I don't know how she survived, being something like 12-year-old or 13-year-old, but or 14, whatever
and
it was.
Her brother, as Mike said before, is estranged from her because he thinks that she's conspiracy theories about Raccoon City and the Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah.
Meaning he doesn't believe her. He thinks these guys looked after me. They took care of me. They provided for me to go to school and
educated me,
and
yada
go
yada,
and go to police academy,
and that
yada
doctor
yada.
guy who was a naughty guy befriended them and was a bit like a father image.
Yeah, he probably lied to him, told him that Claire ran away and all that stuff.
He lied. Well, she did run away actually, but
She did run away, but for good cause.
for good cause. Didn't want to die. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she comes back. She's getting lifted by this truck driver guy. Anyway, while this is
Who's a
happening,
sleazebag? Yeah.
we then get to introduce our other cast members in this film. It's now in the present, where it's in 1998, and this is where in the game itself is where the story takes place.
So the game starts now.
Yeah,
okay,
in the
right.
1998.
Yeah, so everyone's hanging around, and then the shit hits the fan.
Yes,
okay,
we're all
Right.
Here we meet Leon Kennedy, Jill Valentine, and let me see, Albert Wesker, and another guy, I don't know his name, obviously. And just so you guys know, as we mentioned, Leon Kennedy is the opposite to everything in the game he was, being heroic. In this one, he's a rookie officer who's criticised because of his choices and his behaviour.
And he shot his partner in the bum during a gun practice at the academy or something or other. Yeah.
And no one so much as lets him forget it.
Yeah.
Or they treat him like disrespectfully throughout this movie, or not really throughout this movie. He does grow on you like a fungus.
He does, like fungus.
No, I'm being disrespectful. Sorry, guys. He's a nice kid, nice guy. I almost mistook him for Chris Redfield at one point, because both the young actor who portrayed Chris had the same curly hair as this guy, Leon, does. It got me confused, but then I kind of worked it out in the end.
Yeah. There's some minor character development in the early parts of the movie, so you know who the people are.
Kind of confusing. Anyway, moving on. So the police officers of Raccoon City, they go to the station. They're informed about some weird dead bodies outside a special mansion. Just so you guys know, Raccoon City is a deserted area. It's a ghost town.
A lot of people moved out. I think a lot of people in Raccoon City used to work for the Umbrella Corporation. When the Umbrella Corporation moved out to go somewhere else, there was no work for them, so a lot of them moved out.
Yeah,
I think all went with the Umbrella Corporation to some other town. Yeah.
So what's left is a complete ghost town, as I said.
Yeah, a handful of people living there. 100 people, less, 80. Yeah.
And you start noticing from some of the individuals, they're starting to develop side effects from living in those conditions.
Yeah.
Except for the lucky few, like Chris and
the SARS team and
Jill
the police
and all the others.
Yeah.
They are upsets. They're exceptions.
Yeah, they're not getting ill or changing or anything because maybe they've been given an injection at some
pill
stage.
or a vaccine, whatever.
So we don't know.
We don't.
It's hinted at. But all the other townsfolk are changing.
Yeah, and Claire had some evidence where she found online, and her boyfriend and her brother says, "What is a chat room?" All that stuff.
Yeah, her brother does not know any. But you got to be fair. This is 1998. Back in 1998, I didn't know what a chat room was either.
No, that's true.
I didn't, and I don't
They didn't
think
have
too many people
Facebook
doing
either.
podcasts back in those days either.
Yeah, unfortunately back then there wasn't too much stuff going on the internet.
No, it was all new.
It was all new.
Like your Commodore 64s, the Amiga 1000s, they were really something, Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
You'd like to see what I got in this room here. We've got 5 computers.
So anyway, moving on.
State of the art.
So they then find out that they have. So Chris, Jill, and Albert, they head to the mansion where they discover some weird randos hovering in there, and they're not randos. They turned out to be zombies or mutated humans. Because throughout this movie, they start off as rambling, crazy people losing their hair, and then they slowly mutate into zombies. Is my opinion.
Oh, that's okay. Like me when I've been out partying all night and come home late.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You start noticing that they're developing side effects like bleedy eyes and distant stares.
Alice Cooper had that, didn't he?
True.
Yeah, that was drug induced, so
Yeah. Anyway, according to a contact that Claire met on chat room, he says that these people are affected by something in the water in the...
Always blame the water.
Yeah.
Don't drink alcohol, folks. It's better for you. Yeah,
Don't go there.
Bourbon's really nice. Scotch, vodka.
Anyway.
Martinis aren't bad either.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so Claire, so meanwhile, while all this is happening, the last member of the Umbrella Corporation is living not too far from, from this Raccoon City, and he's living with his daughter and his wife, obviously, and he gets the call from his 8 group that they're going to quarantine and destroy Raccoon City because it's starting to act more...
So get your buns out of there now.
Yeah. So he tries to leave, and unfortunately all the roads to said quarantine are blocked.
Yep.
So there's no chance of getting out anytime soon. Even the policeman...
Didn't work out too good for him, did it?
Yeah, even the head police chief guy, he tries to get out, and unfortunately they're doing it much more scarier than most quarantines I've ever seen. Not that I've ever seen the blockade stuff, but I heard stories.
We've had blockades here for the COVID virus, and we haven't been shooting anybody.
Yeah. In this case, it's a lot more scarier and violent. In this case, in this movie,
they're not coming through. Shoot them. There you go. Actually, that would have sent a message out to some people moving from place to place. Yep.
True. Anyway, Claire heads to the police station. She tries to find her brother. She finds Leon there, who finds the truck driver who ends up driving up to the place, who got bitten by his dog.
Well, the dog licked up the blood of the zombified person that he ran over his truck. And then the dog gradually got infected over the next, say, half an hour or something or other, or 20 minutes. He became a zombie dog. And that zombie dog attacked his master, who infected his master, the truck driver's blood. He became a zombie truck driver, and he almost drove into the police station. Yeah. Almost. Missed it by that much.
True. Meanwhile, while this is happening, Albert Wesker, the guy who's in the team is at the mansion, and he reveals that he's going to go into the labs and probably find the T virus and the G virus. I'm not sure. In order to sell to his employers.
For a shitload of money. Yeah, that's
don't swear.
Money? Yeah, money's a
no,
dirty word.
I meant swear.
Oh, the other word.
We don't know who's on...
Kiddies?
There might be kids here.
Don't do as I do as I say. Don't swear, okay? There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, mate.
So, anyway... so Claire and the police chief and Leon, they head to the orphanage where that was a secret, that leads to a secret, entrance there that leads down to the lab. Every single part to the town does have a secret location inside their buildings to allow them to go down into the lab.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
interesting.
Yeah, and the orphanage is just one of many.
One of the many places.
Yeah, anyway, Claire and Leon, they head inside, and as they're heading inside, we see flashbacks to Claire's past throughout the scene.
Yeah.
Of how
she's revisiting her memory. I was here when I was a child. Yeah. See, that room there.
Yeah, throughout in one of the scenes, one of the nurses from the orphanage tell her, guess what, you're getting adopted, and we'll let your brother know in record time that you guys are heading off soon. Even though this is at the time it was at midnight or after midnight, and that's a bit weird when you think about being adopted that late.
Well, it was late. Everyone was in bed.
And what parent will be adopting at that time?
Well, I would. Well, if you're Dracula, maybe.
Maybe I think
Dracula. He doesn't get out of bed till after dark.
True. So anyway, they then encounter a lickety monster thingy, and which kills the police chief and tries to chase after Leon and Claire. But luckily enough, our Claire's old monster friend or mutated friend appears and kills the creature, and tries to help Claire to find the secret entrance down to the lab. We'll call it the hive to make so you guys won't be
consistent
confused.
with everything else.
Yeah, even though it's never called the hive, we just call it the lab.
It's never referred to as a hive in this movie.
I think it was made up for to reference Alice in Wonderland stuff. I don't know. Well, the whole Red Queen, Alice in Wonderland stuff.
No one had hives. No one had calamine lotion all over the place trying to get rid of the hives.
Anyway, she gives her the keys, and this is really another Easter egg I should mention. How the keys have these interesting symbols like spades and hearts and diamonds.
Playing cards, a bit like Alice in Wonderland stuff. Yeah,
you see those in the game throughout the place.
Having said that, when I was looking on Amazon stuff for this, they actually had the keys. I think it's Amazon or eBay. You can actually buy the keys because they copy copies of the keys with the hearts, clubs, and whatever.
Yeah. Another Easter egg is, well, I won't go into the next Easter egg, obviously. So
they have an Easter bunny?
No.
No. Okay.
So
no Easter bunny.
So Leon and Claire, they head down into the lab. Meanwhile, Chris and Jilly, who escaped the zombies in the mansion, start following Wesker down into the lab.
Wesker.
Through the mansion, through another secret entrance.
Yeah.
There, Wesker meets the doctor, the what's his name?
Muggerlugs.
William
Birkin, is it?
Birkin, who was packing up his G virus, T virus, and whatever viruses you have.
XYZ virus, and
And he encounters him, and he demands his
bag of goodies.
Of course, they shoot each other, and Will goes down for the count, and he injects himself with either the T virus or the G. I'm not sure which one.
One of A, B, C, D. I don't know.
He then kills. Wesker kills William's wife, and he.
Well, so he tried to shoot him.
Yeah, and
that's fair.
And his daughter, Sherry, hides from Wesker. And we then get the moment where we think she might have shot him, but it's actually maybe Jill who shot him.
Jill or somebody.
I think. I'm not sure.
It was Jill or...
Yeah, Jill Valentine.
Or Claire.
Yeah. No, Jill.
Jill, yeah.
Positive. Jill and Wesker, they seem to have developed something.
A bit of a bond.
Yeah, and he tells her that how he was employed to find the vaccine, the viruses, and in order to give to his employers.
Who's going to give a lot of money?
And he tells her that Raccoon City and will be destroyed.
At 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, throughout this movie, we get a little bit of a time clock in each scene.
Like a countdown?
A countdown to 6 o'clock.
Is that in the game as well, the countdown thing?
No.
No, okay. Just, sun comes up, you go down. Right, okay. I got it.
Yeah, anyway, so our heroes head down to... They then encounter William, who's now become mutated, and Jill and Sherry, they hide while Chris encounters William. And in this scene, William, whose mutated self, tells Chris that he was never part of his family. He was using him, and that Claire was right. And Chris was wrong about everything. Making Claire more the smart one,
and you're an idiot.
While Chris was just following blindly.
Exactly.
And luckily enough, Claire saves her brother's life and shoots the William in the head, even though this doesn't stop him. Soon enough, our remaining people, they head down to a train which is located underneath Raccoon City, and in order to escape the lab and from the explosion, all that stuff.
Yeah, all good groovy stuff.
Unfortunately, William revives, and just like the final boss in every game, he comes and tries to take them down. And just like in the games before this, Leon takes out a bazooka and shoots or rocket launcher and kill William. Throughout the video games,
the new monster, the new improved William.
Yeah, see, throughout the Resident Evil games, they always end killing the final boss using a rocket launcher. It's a key part to the story. He found it in first class. It's another Easter egg I should mention. And soon enough, the Raccoon City is destroyed.
Boom.
including the mansion, everything, including a cow. Moo.
Oh, we got to blow the moo cow away.
Like something
It reminded me of Wizard of Oz, a cow floating around in the twister, and again.
Yeah. Anyway,
Whatever.
Then we
So
get
cute.
to the end, and we see them flashing some text saying the location of Raccoon City is destroyed, 0 live people, but unfortunately,
Well,
a few people,
Little girl.
Leon, Chris,
And what's her?
and Claire and Jill, they escape out of a small little tunnel.
The train tunnel.
And they
On the
head
other
on,
side of the
and they
mountain.
head on their way. Meanwhile, we get a post-credit scene where we see
Wesker.
Albert Wesker waking from inside a body
He's
bag.
in a body bag.
And
That'd be scary waiting on a body bag, wouldn't it, folks?
his
Just have to
eyes
think about
his
it.
eyes are affected. I don't.
Can't see squatto. Yeah.
And I think it's either something they injected him to in order to come back to life. I don't know.
I think his eyes must be light sensitive or something. If you put sunglasses on, he can see, so it must be very sensitive.
There he encounters another character from the game I won't mention. I think you may be familiar with her.
Oh, you could mention that. Ada Wong.
Yeah.
But she obviously must show up in the game somewhere or other.
Yeah, she was sort of
Yeah.
misleading Leon Kennedy in the second game, and she turned out to be a bad person who was trying to find trying to get the virus in order to do whatever.
steal it
Throughout
and-
the
yeah.
games, you get a lot of people who keep on trying to find either the vaccine or the virus and try to use it as a bit of a
Help mankind.
to not help
no,
mankind, but in order to get money, extort money from companies.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, that's the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City movie, yada, yada, yada. Sorry,
Blah, blah.
it was brief. I mean,
no, we don't tell too much. We want people to go to the theatre and see it, don't we?
or buy the DVD.
Or go to the theatre and see it. It looks really good on a big screen. Now, having said that, I haven't played the computer games. I have seen the franchise movies with the character Alice in it.
Yes.
Was portrayed by Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to run this movie down because they didn't have Miller in it. But the point is, that's a different type of movie. The original franchise was based on an idea, theme from the computer game, where this movie is more trying to be as faithful as possible to the first two computer games.
Yeah,
so
see, that's
it's a different style of movie.
See, that's what the director was trying to do for this one. He wanted to do it a faithful representation of the original game.
Now, whether he's done good or bad, I don't know. I haven't played the games. So, those of you who have played the games Resident Evil, hold your buns down to the theatre, watch the movie. Now, and it's not bad, but to make your own judgment, I don't know what's in the games. All I know is most of those action games are walk in a room, I got a gun, I'm going to shoot somebody. That's it. Apart from that, I don't know anything else about the action games.
Yeah, I think the most fun out of this I got was watching the Easter eggs, mostly, because I do enjoy them most.
I won't go into too much about production and stuff. There's a lot that does waffle on and inspirations and stuff, but James Wan was going to be in there as a director, and he moved on to do the Mortal Kombat reboot and everything else. And now, Johannes Roberts, whatever his name is, I gather he was inspired by John-Kamen a bit. Halloween, Assault on Precinct 13, The Fog, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, so when he came to do this sort of stuff, he sort of had a good feeling where he wanted to go with it. He wanted to make it slightly darker than the original franchise.
Yeah, I think he said I think it said in the opening credits that he did the credits similar to The Fog, his credits. I think that's what he described.
Yeah.
So he must be a fan of John Carpenter's work, obviously.
Now, having said this, what he said, Johannes, he said, what I loved about the games was that they were just scary. And that's a lot of what I wanted. Now, having said that, I don't think there's enough scare or jump scares or whatever in this movie. There was action, a good storyline. They could have done a little bit more to make it a bit scarier, to make you go, ooh, jump up, ooh, tingle, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it was lacking a little bit. Still a good storyline, good action, everything else works, but it could have had that little bit extra just the next level. Yeah. Good movie still. I'm not knocking it. Yeah, I'm just saying, to me, I've seen a lot of movies over this, it was lacking that extra oomph to make it something special. How's that?
Yeah, I guess he was trying to...
He was trying to tell a story based on the games, but look, if you're going to tell a story and you focus on the story that you're trying to representation instead of how am I going to service up to the people, there's a balancing you got to do. And I think he went too much one way. He didn't keep his eye on the end result, and that's where a couple of good scary bits, a few more guys come out, a few more fight scenes, someone jumping out of doorways occasionally trying to eat somebody. We got that monster guy, that Birkin guy, for a very short period of time near the end of the movie. Things like that. There could have been a bit more involved. I mean, it was good fun. The first half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour was reasonably slow pace. It's like, hello, what are you doing? I'm not doing anything. Yada yada. It's a nice night, isn't it? And nothing was happening to get the adrenaline starting to pump up and then bring up the atmosphere a bit. So there's a few little tweaky things.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, it's a good movie. Not a great movie,
I like
but still
that
a good movie.
Both movies, both games, that he incorporated them both together to make sure that, unlike in the games, Claire Redfield doesn't catch up with her brother in the end of the second game. She searches for him, but she doesn't find him. So she and Leon try to, explore their environment, try to find everything they can about what's been going down, and eventually get away on the train.
Yep. Is it?
Same I could say for Chris, who doesn't encounter his sister in the first game because he's in the mansion throughout the game, obviously.
Well, yeah, I was in the game, so I can't comment on the
game. And in the game, they kind of encounter some weird, crazy stuff in there where they encounter giant snakes and sharks
and this is what they could have
giant
brought into.
spiders in the game.
Even if it's computer generated stuff, they could have thrown something in there.
Something creepy.
Yeah,
cool.
just something to make it creepy. When they were, we've opened door going into the Spencer Mansion, go downstairs here. There's nothing there.
Yeah,
empty
and
rooms. Yeah,
unlike
the
unlike the original games and the other movies. Well, unlike the original games, you do encounter zombies, but only not as many in this one, where you just in this movie you see more than just one, or sometimes they can really attack you full force.
Exactly. Oh. Now, just move along. Filming, I like this bit. This is real good. Principal photography began in Greater Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. Do you? On October the 17th, 2020. Drum roll. It was completed on December the 24th, 2020. Rather a good, nice, tight film shoot.
Cool.
About a 2-month film shoot.
2 months, wow.
They did some other film footage later, but the main film footage, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I like. Get in there, ram, bam, thank you, man, get it done. And so you can keep the budget down a bit and spend more money on your special effects and props and stuff. And
props to them.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. What else can I say? I mentioned box office. Box office, too early to really gauge. Only been a little over a month, I think, really. It's going to be a wait and see. I reckon it's going to do a lot better over the next month or two. It won't be as good as the first month, obviously, but I think it's breaking its own at the moment. What was the figures? Yeah, budget 25 has already made 31 to 32 mil as of the 4th of January.
Very cool.
So that's in 1 month. So if they double that over the next, say, 3 months or something or other.
Yeah.
Well,
you said before that
60.
there was no reviews about the movie?
I didn't say that. But I don't like the reviews.
Well, give us one or two to bitch about.
They're full of crap. Can I say they're full of crap, some of these people?
Yeah, you can if you want to.
I mean, things like Rotten Tomatoes are okay. They're people like you and me voting on it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go for those. Rotten Tomatoes, 30% based on 79 reviews. Okay. Yeah, so 30% of the... yeah, okay. 30% of the 79 reviews are positive, with an average rating of 4.8 out of 10. Critical consensus: Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City is an affectionately faithful adaptation that further proves its source material is ill-suited to the big screen, which means it didn't work. Okay.
Well,
Okay. You did ask me.
Yeah. So what's the next one? Just so I know.
I'm going through. Okay, right.
Pick a good one.
No, I'm
well, not a good one. Just
there's no
the
good
most
ones.
crappy one.
There's average ones to not so good ones.
Well, good, bad one. If you is the word.
I know. Okay. Metacritic doesn't say anything. Okay. Audience polled by Cinema Score gave the film an average grade of C+ on an A+ to an F scale, while those at Post Talk gave it a 61% positive score and 48% saying they would definitely recommend it. Okay, so they're not saying it's a crappy movie, they're saying it's not the greatest movie. In a positive review, you want this one, Johnny Olekinski, I think it is, from the New York Post, gave 3 out of 4 stars and wrote, "The film is empty-headed good fun that's blessedly under 2 hours and has just enough character development to make you kind of care when somebody gets bitten." So that's not a bad review.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
I do admit though that I know that some people who probably played the game and knew the story religiously and take it.
The problem is, like I said, some of these guys picked up on, it's because it's focused on the game and not telling the story properly, probably affected the overall storytelling and direction of the movie. Oh, look, there it is. You can't just have, someone walking up another doorway, someone's walking up another doorway, someone's walking up another, as a computer game does.
Yeah, throughout the game,
so you can't just do that. You've got to actually build a bit more suspense in it. Yeah.
So it's not like the games where you just walk through a room to another room until you find the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as fun as that. I mean, it's not fun doing it that way because it bores the living crap out of everyone.
Exactly. So look, it's not a bad movie for those purists who like the
game and
the game
and the original franchise, whatever.
No, there's two different things. Yeah. The game is not like the franchise. Now, if you like the game and you're purist, this is a good attempt at telling the story from the first 2 Resident Evil games.
True.
If you like the franchise of Mila Jovovich and all the other people running around, it's nothing like that.
True.
Okay, and there's less action in this movie. Okay, but I'm still saying it's a good watch. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it's a bit more slower moving. Okay, so if you don't mind, it borders on being a drama than more of a horror movie. It's like a drama with a bit of horror and action thrown into it. That's the way it comes over to me. But it's still a good watch, okay? Everything else is okay. Like I said, could be a few more jump scares, a bit more Atmos stuff to make you go, whoo, you know. But
I would love if there was more mutated creatures running around. Not just the odd
snakes
zombie.
And stuff and the computer games and stuff. They could bring that sort of crap in there and it would have been nice.
Yeah.
Look at the first Resident Evil movie they made with Mila Jovovich. They had those big tanks downstairs and had these creatures inside the tanks and so and blah blah and had zombies running all over the place. They had a lot of good things going on in that movie.
Yeah, I think that the one thing that the original movies had was all the original creatures running around loose in the games.
Yeah, and all the scientists were locked inside the hive, and they were the monsters. Yeah, they were the zombies. All the scientists and the personnel from the hive had been turned.
Yeah. I do like the fact. I do like the layouts of the locations they reached.
Well, you said they did it pretty much like the computer game, didn't you?
Yeah. Both. I mean, both the police station, the orphanage, the mansion I mentioned, are all similar to their counterparts in the game.
Now, drum roll. There's talk about a sequel. Now, I don't think the sequel's going to come off unless they can make some serious money.
And
at the
get
box office out of
producers
this
on
one.
board, obviously.
No, here's what I'm saying. If this makes the money, if it makes, let's say, 60 mil or something or other, or 70 mil or whatever, they'll say, yes, this made money. If it doesn't make the money, they probably won't throw money at the sequel, because the sequel normally doesn't make, or often doesn't make as much as the first movie.
Yeah, every time I do encounter a really good movie, and I think it's worthy for a sequel, but a producer out there says, no, I don't think it's worthy enough for a sequel.
Look, I've spoken to you about movie making and stuff over the years. There's two things. You have to look at the money and you have to look at the art. But some people get it back to front. To me, you've got to look at the art first and say, right, this is what I want to create. Then you look over your shoulder and say, I've got X, Y, Z dolls to play with. How can I achieve that production on that budget? Now, other people turn around and say, I've got that budget to play with and I want to make a movie, and they focus on the dollars instead of the art. And when you focus on the dollars instead of the art, I think the end product is a lot less than people who focus on the art. So, and that's what the producers are. They have to look at the numbers. They say, okay, if we're not making money, why are we going to make it?
True.
That's what the problem is. The producers aren't necessarily artistic people. They're number crunchers. They're bean counters and whatever, and they need to make money. Otherwise, they don't have a production company anymore.
True.
That's what the problem is. So it's a fine line, and the producers need to be a bit more mindful of that when they say yes or no to a movie.
True.
Yeah. Anyway, now moving along, Amazon. It's rentable right now. You can rent it. Now wait a minute. There is a listing there for sale, Blu-ray, DVD, whatever, 4K. Most of it's out of stock, probably because everyone's buying it at the moment. eBay appears to have quite a few for sale. But some of them are also pre-orders.
True.
So they're waiting for stock to come in. So in simple cases, as they're getting them, they're selling them. So, I would suggest, if you want, go to the theatre, get an eyeful, say, hey, I like this, and then buy a copy for your home library, because and I think it's worth a second and third watch.
Just give it a chance, guys.
Look, honestly,
you may find something you might like in this.
Especially you purists who like the game. You gamers who like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
They've tried to copy it, and I think you really should support the movie maker.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
if
it's not really your cup of tea, it's because you guys are probably out there, have watched the game and know what you expect out of it.
And you're being spoiled by all the other good movies.
And once you watch this movie, you think, oh, I've seen this sort of layout before, yada yada yada, and it is nothing that's grabbing my attention, because you guys played the game, you know the story, you know the story.
It's not quite a sleeping pill. There's good action bits. There's some interesting bits in it. There's a little bit of funny stuff thrown in there. It's a good mixture. It's a good watch, but don't expect it to be like the franchise.
Yeah, it's just that I often think that if you have watched the game and know what's going to happen next, it may not be for you guys to watch, because you guys know the story, and you may...
I'll put it the other way around. If you're a gamer and you've actually played the game and you know how it's supposed to run, watch the movie, because you might find out this is a really good representation of it.
I know. I just mean that there are people who do watch the game and know the movie, and they probably think, okay, now they're going to go down below to labs. Gee, this is so boring, because I know this is what's going to happen next. There's going to be betrayal, yada yada yada. And then there's
after you tell them the story, that they need to watch the movie.
True.
Aha.
I mean, it's pretty much. It does. It kind of has a few spoilers, and in the game, in the movie, it reveals almost all the plot line from the game.
Well, it's supposed to.
Except for the part, as I said before, Chris and Claire don't really meet up in the games in both games in the end. They just.
Well, I know. I haven't seen it. I'm only getting what you're saying. I haven't seen the games. I don't know.
Yeah, and
I'm reviewing the movie, not
and
the
the
game.
Alice one, they try to make them out as co-characters. Not in this one. They've given the right. They've given a little bit more of a, they're given the chance to be more the protagonist in the story instead of given the cold shoulder in the original.
Whatever.
Well, the original it was the original movies. They try to make out their co-characters, while Alice is given all show, making herself the most important character to watch, while the others not.
She was the person the movie storyline was actually written around.
Yeah.
She was the one who started off. She was a combination of Jill Valentine and somebody else character.
Claire Redfield.
Claire and Jill maybe thrown at that, and then they put those people in there as also rands of slightly different personality.
Yeah, and a lot of other female
Yeah. That's it. So yeah, they sort of like you get a movie like Dracula, it's something like the book. Yeah. Some versions of Dracula is, but the one of Bela Lugosi, nothing like the book.
I did read a review that some persons complained about both Albert Wesker and Jill Valentine's characters being unlike the in the game or in appearances as well as their behaviour.
They can't look like them totally.
Yeah, I remember in the old movie, obviously, that one looked exactly like the character from the game, wearing a blue vest, blue singlet, black shorts or black pants,
whatever,
and sporting firearms. Making it look really cool for camera and all that stuff.
I know. It looks so damn good. Actually, my other daughter, Julie, I'll mention her by name, used to be a security guard before she had her family, and she used to look good in her black cargo pants, her in a black shirt with a little logo emblem on her sleeve. I was a security guard wearing a stupid pair of black pants and a high-vis fluoro top. Looked like a geek. Anyway.
So do you want to rate this movie now? Before I forget.
Because, okay, I'm not comparing it to the franchise, okay? But it was a good movie. Was a bit slow moving. Could have had a few more jump scares, so I'm going to give it 8.5, 8.5. Yeah.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 too.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah. It could have gone that one level up and it could have made a lot better movie than it is. It's still a good movie, but it's lacking a little bit here and there. And the only way for you to find out whether I'm full of crap or not is to go and watch it.
I also heard that they were going to use the original storyline that was going to be used for the original Resident Evil movies. Remember when we did the review for the old Resident Evils, they were having a hard time trying to put together the script way back then.
Yeah, well,
right?
They were trying to develop the script based on it instead of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the computer game has a storyline. They weren't trying to follow the computer game. They're trying to make a new storyline based on the game.
Yeah,
so,
see we've pointed out in the past, guys, they had a difficult time that some of them wanted to either use the same storyline from the game and using the original characters.
I think the franchise did a damn fine job creating a new reality for that movie.
A little misleading when you think about it.
No,
Who liked the game?
It wasn't a retelling of the computer. It was based on. You have to get the words based on through your thick head. Based on means we're taking this and we've made our own version of it up. That's what it means, okay? And I think their version of it came out pretty good. There's a lot of action on it, a lot of scares, everything else, and enough to make sequels. We've got a nice franchise. What, 7 or 8 movies, was it? 7?
7 or 8.
7. There was an animated one in there too.
Yeah, there were a few animated.
At least one I think of.
And I think of the TV series. I haven't heard if it's coming out or not. They did a really good job at it, but but it wasn't a faithful representation of the computer game. I read somewhere they might be making I think there might be. I look forward to when they do the sequel to this one. I just hope it's going to be a good adaptation of a good continuation of the Resident Evil, this
Whatever.
movie. I mean, I just hope it's going to be. That one will also be a faithful rendition of it too.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, not faithful. I mean, I think people have a difficult time trying to work out whether it's always good to follow the story from the game or just make up a new one to inspire new, interesting
But that's
minds.
the whole point. That's where you get. You need. What's the word looking for? You remember a couple of years, 2 years ago, someone did a review on you and called it an orator or something or other, EUR or something. I don't know the right way to pronounce it. I think it's orator, not orator. And it's a director who can make a film look like it's being created, not just a movie. And that's the difference between an average director and a good director. It looks, if a movie comes over as a creation instead of just a movie. Yeah, and that's why I like some movies better than others. So when someone's created something, to me, it's a digital form of art. A moving artwork, a good movie, everything comes together. And that magic often happens for some guys, and sometimes it's elusive for other people. So yeah, irrespective. And like my favourite, poor old Ed Wood. Now he had a lot of heart, didn't have a lot of talent. Those sorts of guys, they were elusive. But then you get guys like Johnny Carpenter, George Lucas, Spielberg, all those guys. When they put their hands on a project, something comes alive. That's what you want.
Yeah, I often think some of the independent filmmakers out there.
Yeah, some of the independent. I can't list them all.
I can't list them all even myself, but I often think that they have it right in the end because they have a creative imagination and new ideas.
And they don't sit back and say, "Oh, don't do it that way." They just do it. They got the creative juices going, and they just make it. They create. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the difference between making a movie and creating a movie. And a creation is better than making one. A creation is like making a work of art. Yeah.
Yes. So
Anyway.
I think that's about it for tonight.
Let's kill it.
So,
These people are going to bed
as I
now.
said before, guys, feel free to check out my latest film projects I have on the agenda this year.
And don't forget, on Vimeo we have Attack of the Cat People. Please have a look at it.
Yeah, please have a look.
Not because you want your money, we want your input, okay?
Yeah.
But the money's nice too.
Because that money will go to
the next project.
To our next film project. And every little bit does count, guys.
Every little bit hurts.
Anyway, that's about it for us tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed our latest, our first
one for the
first
year?
One
for
of
2022.
Yeah, or season 3, as they call it.
Hey, it is season 3. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun?
Yes, give or take.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this comeback. So I hope you guys come and.
By the way, I hope everybody had a nice Christmas and a pleasant New Year's and didn't get into too much trouble, didn't drink too much. Oh, what am I talking about? You drank too much, had a great time, hey? Good.
Yeah, anyway, that's about it for us. Oh, just so you guys know, next week I'm also actually, last month, I did some axe spraying, so if you've seen the video footage, feel free to check that out, okay?
What did you do?
Axe throwing.
Did you?
Yeah, where I get to throw an axe and...
When's that happening?
That was last month.
Oh, right.
In January?
Okay, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway, I hope you guys check out
You do get around.
I hope you guys check out the video footage and see from my perspective how you can probably throw an axe if you're a serial killer or the final girl.
Or you just want to get rid of your mother-in-law.
Anyway, that's about it for tonight. So thanks for listening to today's podcast, everyone. So we'll see you guys for our next one. And I hope you guys join us then. Okay, guys. This is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying, see you guys around. Bye for now.
Bye.